Good morning, honorable members.
Morning, Chair.
How are you?
Morning, Chair.
Fine. How are you, Chair?
Morning, Chair.
How are you?
We are fine today.
Yo, I'm better.
Noma izinto zikhona, we are fine.
Siyabonga ma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seyakhuluma umntwana, Chair. Seyakhuluma esibhedlela umntwana.
Praise God.
Yes.
Siyabonga ma.
Siyabonga kakhulu uNkulunkulu.
Yeah, I will praise God for that.
Yes.
Yeah. Bonga sinto encane nje.
Siyabonga mamhlengwa.
Yazini.
Nkosi yami.
Siyabonga kakhulu imikhuleko yenu, siyabonga.
Nkosi yami.
Siyabonga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, honorable members. Good morning to everyone. The department.
Recording in progress.
NYDA, I see the chair. I see the Office of the State Law Advisors. I see the DM. Good morning, DM.
Good morning, Honorable Chairperson. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, DM. Mr. Khanaka, I see you are in. I don't see Dr. Benis. Oh, Dr. Benis is in.
Sure.
And honorable members of the Portfolio Committee, good morning. And good morning.
Chair.
Good morning,
Honorable Chairperson.
Good morning, CEO and the chairperson of A.
Morning, Chair. Good morning, honorable members on the DM.
Is there anyone from Parliament Legal Office? I don't see Dr. Tembe.
Good morning, Chair. It's Sue and Isaac present.
Sorry?
It's Sue and Isaac who's present from Parliament.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, we will start. I declare this meeting officially open. You are all welcome, honorable members. I think today's agenda is according to what we have agreed upon. And hopefully the work that we have done Friday in the Portfolio Committee and Friday after the Portfolio Committee, I'm sure it's been concluded. So we are going to follow our agenda as presented before you. I'll now call for apologies from Nelisa.
Thank you, Chairperson. Good morning, Chair. Good morning, members. And good morning to the DM and delegation from the department and the NYDA. Chairperson, I've received only 2 apologies. One, it's from the Office of the Deputy Minister. She indicated that she will attend until 10:30 because she's got another appointment at 11. And the second one is from Ms. Mohale, who is still on study leave, Chair, busy writing exams. Those are the 2 apologies that I've received, Chair. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, DM, thank you. Let's start with the first item. Nelly, what is the first item? Masiko?
Yes, I'm seeing here on the chat that Honorable Member Opperman has sent an apology on behalf of Honorable Sharif. She has indicated in the group that Honorable Sharif will be joining the meeting late at 10. Okay, it's fine.
Thank you, Honorable Opperman. Thank you very much. That apology of Honorable Sharif is noted. Nelly, can you please present the items according to what we have agreed upon last week, Friday?
Chair, it's going to be the department again. We'll have a further deliberations. They must just indicate those changes that were agreed upon last week on Friday. Then thereafter, we'll consider the motion of desirability report and the public input report, and then we go to close by close deliberations, Chair, for today, and the minutes, the last item.
Okay, I want to request Dr. Penis and Mr. Hanaka to start first with the one that we corrected after the meeting, which was an omission anyway.
Thanks. Good morning, Chairperson. Good morning, honorable members and deputy members. Honorable members and deputy minister. Emmanuel, I think please go ahead and present, starting with the changes which we made after the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. B. Good morning to you. Good morning, Chairperson, and all the honorable members of the Portfolio Committee. Good morning to the DM, also to the Chair of the NYDA and the NYDA delegation, and all of my colleagues from the department. Yes, I will immediately zoom into that section. Chair, I'm projecting on my side. I'm hoping that you are able to see.
Yeah, I'm able to see.
Yes. So the majority of the amendments that were made after the meeting on Friday are under section 4, which speak to the objects of the agency. I will just read them out. The areas that are red indicate where further changes have been made to the bill. So you'll see that under 4.1a, there is an object for the agency to initiate, design, coordinate, monitor, and evaluate youth development programs at provincial and local levels. B speaks to establish annual youth development priorities and report to the minister on implementation. And then C speaks to lobbying private, public, and civil society organizations towards implementation of national youth development priorities. So I think those two largely speak to the role of the NYDA in the youth development space, specifically along the lines of youth development priorities and engaging those stakeholders within government and outside of government to also implement the national youth development priorities that would be there. There's an addition to D, which speaks to broadly promote the interests of youth, particularly those who fall under the act that is listed there. And then we also have an inclusion under F. Under E, of course, you'll see that it's contribute to development of the national youth policy and the integrated youth development strategy, which was already there, so there's no addition there. F and G are where we've added the development of guidelines for implementation of an integrated youth development strategy. We think this is very important because the strategy speaks about how the youth policy is implemented, but at different levels, you also need to have specific guidelines for implementation of the strategy. So we've added that. And number G, promote uniform approach by all organs of state, the public, the private, and I think there's just an error there, a repetition of public. We'll remove it, but it will speak to civil society sectors. So it's just that level of uniformity in the youth development space This aligns to the issues of norms and standards that is spoken about in a different section, to say that where we deliver services as an agency, there has to be uniformity and promotion of that uniformity all across society in the space of youth development. Chair, those are the key additions. The other things we've gone. This one, I think, there's this number V under subsection 5. The removal of the National Youth Fund. So it appears in the bill, but you'll see the comment there from Dr. B that it is being deleted, because we've adopted this approach of saying anything that is in bold and is within this, I don't know what is called, I'll find out, but those brackets that are for Konanyana, so that is an indication that the item is being removed. Anything that is underlined is something that is being added. So you'll see that this is not underlined, it is bold and contained in those brackets. So it is being removed from the act and the bill, Chair.
So, for instance, before Mr. Kanaka, Roman figure 5, what are you saying? Yes, in Roman figure 4 and Roman figure 5? Are you saying governance and training and development, and then you are deleting this and you replace it with governance, skills development and training? Angit, that's what you mean?
That is correct. That is correct.
Okay. Okay. You understand, honorable members?
Yes, Chair.
Masiko?
Thanks, Chair. Chair, I have a question on the first ones. Mr. Khanake can, yes, that G. Promote uniform approach by all organs of state, the public, the private, he's not removed public and civil society sectors. But in terms, Chair, I think there's something missing, because if you can just, okay, well, at least he can explain it to us. But if you are reading it, offhand, promote uniform approach to what? Because now he's explaining it to us. But if somebody picks up the act and read it, that act must be able to speak to them without getting someone to actually explain to you what it means. So promote uniform approach in youth, exactly. I think there was something missing. I support that in youth development, because if you just say uniform approach by its own, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, I think this, the first part, honorable members, it's things that we saw after the meeting that has been omitted, and these are the critical key issues that the NYDA has to undertake in terms of its agency. So what I did, I called in Mr. Khaneka, Dr. Benis, and the CEO, and Kapshifa, and myself, and then we had to work on these ones, looking at the Principal Act, because if some of these things were removed, it will mean it was the collapse of the NYDA. So we had to relook at the Principal Act, look at these things, and we agreed to work on it last week, Friday, after the meeting. And then thank you very much to Dr. Benis. Some of them we had to agree and disagree, but I'm happy that at the end of the day, we all see some of these things that they are very critical for the NYDA as an agency, because it was going to give us a problem. So thank you very much, Dr. Benis, Mr. Khanaka, and CEO and Kashifa, thank you because you didn't do other things after I said continue working because I was very sick, but I was able to work with them on Friday. But thank you for putting it correctly in this document. Thank you very much, honorable members. So I think now from how the document is crafted, and now, honorable members, we can start from where the bill starts, Dr. Penis and Mr. Kanaka, and then honorable members can satisfy themselves whether it makes sense, and then we can then say whether the bill is desirable or not. We can start from the beginning, Mr. Kanaka. I was informed last week that there's a new member in the committee, but I don't know who is the member.
Good morning, Chair. The new member would also be me, Thembani Zimasamakata. I'm also in attendance.
Asibone sisivule i-camera yakho.
This is me, Chair. I don't know, I would have a bit of a backlight on my side.
Sorry?
This is me, Chair. It's a bit darkish on our side. We had a gloomy weather here in Midrand after the storm yesterday. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Honorable members, Thembani is our new committee member. I'm told she is replacing comrade Honorable Boni, but Honorable Boni will still be our alternate in the portfolio committee. She's now full-time in the portfolio committee on police, but she's still our alternate member in the portfolio committee. So yeah, welcome, Honorable Thembani, to the portfolio committee. You will hit the road running. We are now busy with the NYDA bill. So uzoyijoyina nje le nqola uyilalele ngoba ifike seyigijima vele.
Sayikhwela ibaleka nje. Thank you. Khwela igijima. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, Mr. Kanaka, you can start from the beginning.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. This is the new and latest working document of the National Youth Development Agency Amendment Bill as tabled in 2022, which was introduced in the National Assembly under a proposed Section 75, which means it is a bill that doesn't affect provinces. And then it was introduced by the minister back then. And then I think this area we know, all the words that are in the square bracket are omissions. Those that are underlined with a solid line indicate insertions. So I will just quickly read the short title, Chair, to say the long title. The purpose of the bill is to amend the National Youth Development Agency Act of 2008 so as to insert new definitions, to amend the provisions relating to the objects of the agency, to amend the functions of the agency, to amend provisions relating to reporting by the agency, to provide for organs of state to assist the agency, to provide for the governance responsibilities of the board, to provide for additional board members, to provide that a board member may not be reappointed for more than 2 terms, to provide that board members must submit their financial disclosures, to amend matters pertaining to meetings of the board, and to amend the funding of the board, to authorize the minister to make regulations, and to provide for matters connected therewith. So if the bill will be enacted, it would read as such: the amendment of Section 1 of the Act 54 of 2008, you will see that there will be an amendment here by insertion after the definition of the word board of the following definitions: the definition for the chief executive officer, the definition of civil society organization, the definition of the department, as well as definitions of the word femicide, as well as gender-based violence, to speak to the removal of the board members if they are accused of any of the crimes related to those two particular crimes, amongst others, and the definition of the integrated youth development strategy. There are also further definitions that are inserted: the definition of the minister, the definition of the national youth policy, as well as definitions of the non-executive director and the youth development programs. That is it in terms of Section 1, Chair. I didn't want to read each of the particular definitions, but I'm happy to do that if it is necessary. But with your permission, I can move to amendment of Section 2. Right, okay, I'll continue. Under Section 2, there is an amendment by substitution of the previous text that was in the original Act. It is replaced by a text which now lists where the agency belongs in terms of the PFMA. So the agency is the national public entity listed under Part A of Schedule 3 of the PFMA of 1999. And then majority of the amendments will then also be under Section 3, which speaks to the object of the agency. We have just gone through this section now, so I will not be reading this section again because we've just gone through it. We confirm that when we do resubmit, this will be an accepted change to clarify that the uniform approach is in the space of youth development. Under Section 5, there are also further amendments here by the substitution in subsection 1 of that particular section for paragraph A of the following paragraph. So largely under A, we were talking about what was in the original Act. You'll see that in terms of writing, like just normal, usual writing style, this is not the right way to write some of these things. So, and also national youth social cohesion is a national youth service component. So we've removed national youth service and social cohesion and replaced it with national youth service. Number one, we've removed economic participation and replaced it with economic transformation, job creation, and entrepreneurial support. Apologies for that. So that's number Roman figure 2. So you'll see that it's broadened the space in which the NYDA participates in order to enable young people to participate in the economy. We know that young people, more than just being job seekers, they also want to do business development and run their own businesses. So this clause, this particular insertion will clarify the role that the NYDA plays in the second pillar of the national youth policy of economic transformation, job creation, and entrepreneurship. Policy research and development will now change to research and development. We have gone through this part, specifically what is going to happen to the policy aspect. I think honorable members are aware. And as I continue, you'll see that there is space for the NYDA to play in the policy space. Then there's no change in terms of the content of the Roman figure 4, just that it is written properly as it should have been. It remains governance. But however, there's skills development as opposed to training. And then Roman figure 5 remains youth advisory and information services, correctly written. Yes, Chair?
Go back. Roman figure 3, yeah, pencil foot. Policy research and development, but you were supposed to put that here, isn't it? What we agreed upon regarding youth NYDA playing a role in terms of policy, in terms of policy.
It's in a different section, Chair.
It's in which section? Oh.
It's under functions. Okay. Yes, it's under functions, Chair.
All right. Okay.
Thank you. We've removed National Youth Fund as discussed, so that Roman figure will also be amended when the next version of the bill is produced. And then there's an insertion of management of interventions to assist the youth to find employment. So that is a broad inclusion there of the other work that the NYDA will do to help young people to find employment, including through the PYEI or any other intervention that they may embark on in future. Management of interventions needed to assist the youth to find employment, Chair.
Oh.
Yes, we are, of course, keeping it broad like that because it is legislation. It can then be enabling for the agency going forward for the various interventions.
Do they understand it in that way also? CEO and chair of NYDA? CEO and chairperson of NYDA?
Yes, Chair. We're still on the platform. Apologies, I just lost connectivity.
When I'm coming, we understand. CEO, this one, Roman figure 4.
Yes, Chair.
What is your understanding, your management of intervention needed to assist the youth and to find employment?
Yeah, thanks, Chair. So I think what that refers to is both supply side and demand side interventions to support young people in seeking employment. I'll just explain what that means. What the NYDA does is look at what employers are looking for. So we liaise with employers on a day-to-day basis about where they have gaps in employing young people. In some cases, employers struggle to locate young people in the locations that they're looking for. They struggle to find young people with the right qualifications, with the right kind of skills. So the NYDA enables the demand side in supporting employers in being able to access young people and their skills and capabilities. But we also support on the supply side in terms of where young people are not necessarily work ready, and supporting them in work readiness, life skills, job preparedness, as well as technical skills development to assist them in being able to locate employment. So I would think that that is what Roman figure 4 refers to. Thanks, Chair.
So if in case when you say NYTA, another person doesn't understand that the same way.
Sorry, Chair, I missed part of that question. Can you please just repeat?
If you are no longer the CEO, will the next CEO understand it the way you understand it, the way it's crafted?
Yeah, I think so. So, we read the wording, management of interventions needed to assist the youth to find employment. I think one would be able to interpret that sufficiently to say you have to look at, I think the word interventions is key there because it describes the need to be able to intervene in the labor market to be able to support. And I think that would then speak to both the supply and the demand side, Chair.
Okay. All right. Honorable members, you are satisfied, ne? Carol?
Yes, Chair.
Okay.
Yes, Chair.
But I'm covered. Chair, Member Piri, I'm fine.
Okay.
Chair, I'm covered.
Okay, Mam Sonti.
I'm covered, Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, let's continue, Mr. Kanaka.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, honorable members, and thank you to the CEO also for the clarity. Yeah, so we'll continue there. So in terms of the, let me just go back to the document here. So the under subsection 2, there is also a couple of other additions which speak to the functions of the agency. So the new section will read, the agency must, for purposes of subsection 3 and within its available resources, amongst others. So we are talking here about some of the work that they will do, but it is not limiting. They will provide youth advisory and information services, including information on the products and services of the agency. They must provide career guidance services in collaboration with relevant partners. They must provide skills training for youth, including personal development and life skills. They must contribute to the development of youth policy in the country. They must support youth work, education and training. They must provide funding in the prescribed manner, as well as capacity building to small, micro, and medium enterprises, SMMEs, to youth-owned cooperatives, to individual youth, to youth serving and youth-led organizations that advance the agency's mandate. I think this is important because it doesn't generally speak to everyone, but those that are functioning in the agency's mandate. They must also support and mentor young entrepreneurs. They must design and implement youth employment programs, including a database of unemployed youth and employment opportunities. I think this also speaks to this issue of matching and ensuring that there's supply side and demand side interventions. They must assist in promoting healthy lifestyles among the youth.
Yes.
They must assist in designing and implementing programs that reduce risky behavior. And of course, this will include issues of substance abuse, and teenage pregnancy, and yeah, all of those that we regard as risky behavior now and in the future. Assist in promoting mental health among the youth. I think this is also very important. And then coordinate the National Youth Service. And lastly, assist in developing norms and standards as well as implementation guidelines. So this touches with the last object also on the part that we've just read. Now there are two additional ones.
So
yes.
Oh, okay. Assist by providing support in legislation and strategy development, yes. And conduct research that impacts on youth. Yeah. Yeah. So why when it's so not D from O to D, why Balega?
No, I agree. We are coming from C here, Chair.
Oh.
So just that, yeah, it's yeah. I struggle to explain it, but where it's a C, it's a D coming from this one. But this one is subsection 4A.
Okay.
Yes, Chair. So the D will be read with the C right at the top there. It will read properly once the B bill is done. It is correct in terms of how it is numbered.
Okay.
So there's also an addition that says that the agency must perform any function as determined by the minister.
Yeah.
Then there is substitution of section 6 of the Act. So section 6 of the Act, Chair, was talking about the let me just go back to it there. So where the Act was talking about principles of youth development, all of those principles have been substituted, primarily because the principles speak broadly about what youth development is all about. They are not specific to the functions of the agency. And we know that the purpose of the bill will be to govern and manage the functions of the National Youth Development Agency as an entity of government. So those principles are replaced from the bill. And then if we can continue, then the bill will read under section 7, then there is an amendment on reporting by the agency. So I'm looking both at the Act and the bill at the same time. That's why I'm a bit disjointed.
Yeah,
I'll try. Okay. So the Principal Act was saying that the agency must at least once every 2 years in the prescribed manner prepare and submit to the minister a report on the status of youth in the Republic. So in the Principal Act, it was once every 3 years. So that duration is reduced to 2 years. All right. And then under subsection 2 there, the agency must then, in accordance with the PFMA, submit to the minister a report on the financial status of the agency. So this is a standard clause that all Section 3 agencies undergo. They do report a financial report to the minister. And then they also supply the minister with information in connection with the activities that they implement. So once a quarter, after the annual reports, and then also the minister can request a specific report from the agency in connection with their activities. Now, there is an insertion that says that those reports that the minister gets, they must be tabled in Parliament within 90 days of receipt. So what that means is that minister gets the status of youth, minister gets a financial report, minister gets any other report from the agency. She then has to process them over to Parliament within 90 days so that Parliament can also then have those considered. And then by notice of Gazette, that's subsection 4, she must publish those reports to the public within a reasonable time after tabling. So after Parliament goes through its processes, then the minister must table the reports in the Gazette for the public to also be aware of them. Then there is a substitution of Section 7 of the Principal Act. I'll just confirm quickly here. That speaks to the roles of organs of state, companies, and civil society organizations in youth development. So that section is substituted by a different text, Chair, which I will read momentarily. So that is roles of organ of state in supporting the agency. So this we've also canvassed during the different meetings that we've had since the public hearing started, to say that the work of organs of state in supporting the agency relates to the Intergovernmental Relations Framework Act of 2005, which is Act 13, and then that they must assist the agency as may be reasonably be required for effective exercise of its powers and the performance of its actions. Then the substitution of Section 8 of the Principal Act, which speaks to control and management of the affairs of the agency. So there will be new text there which speaks about governance responsibilities of the board. We know that the board has got fiduciary responsibilities which it must fulfill. That section will now read that the control and management of the affairs of the agency is managed by the board, and the board must, within 12 months of this section coming into operation, determine a strategic plan, an operational plan, a succession plan, an agency charter that outlines the rights and responsibilities of the agency, and also includes a governance checklist. And then B, the board must monitor and evaluate compliance by the agency with this act, as well as any other function determined by the minister, and then also manage the financial and other resources in accordance with the PFMA and any other applicable law. That is it in terms of substitution of Section 8. And then there's an amendment in terms of Section 9, which speaks to composition, appointment, and conditions of service of the board. So actually, we are advised that we should not be saying the board in the legislation. We'll say of board, hence the removal of the words there from the title there. So here, the bill reads that the board will consist of 7 members, 2 of whom are executive directors appointed by the president on recommendation of the National Assembly. So there's an insertion of the appointment by the president on recommendation of the National Assembly as opposed to Parliament. We've also discussed this in the Friday meeting. There's an addition of 2 ex officio members without voting rights, designated by the minister from the department and acting in an advisory capacity. And I think this is wording that has been proposed by the parliamentary legal officer to clarify the particular role of the ex officio members and also where they are coming from. And then the chief executive officer is then also an ex officio member of the board without voting rights. Then there's a deletion of subsection 2 in the bill, and then it is replaced with the areas that follows to clarify who and how the board members are appointed, can be appointed. So that section will now read that members must broadly reflect the demographics and the geographical spread of the Republic, and must. One, Roman figure 1 there you see they must be South African citizen between the ages of 18 and 35. They must have relevant knowledge, expertise, experience, or qualifications in youth development, social development, which we discussed also in the Friday meeting to say what social development means in terms of upliftment of communities, etc. Also financial or legal fields. We avoided using the word sciences because that would automatically mean that it is qualification. And then we've also added any other fields considered necessary for advancement of the agency's mandate. So that broadly then allows any portfolio committee that is tasked with the appointment to consider fields that may be in the technology space. Somebody spoke about issues of AI, etc. So those fields that would be necessary going into the future could then be added as well in the specific adverts, and that would be circulated. Then there's an addition under Roman figure 3 that members will be allowed to finish their term if they turn 35 whilst they're still in office. And then those members that are appointed need to be committed to advance the mission, the vision, the goal, objectives, values, and principles as enunciated in the National Youth Policy that may be there at any given time. There's also further amendments here to under E to say that the president must designate one of the members contemplated in subsection 1A as a chairperson and another as a deputy chairperson, and both are executive directors that are referred to in subsection 1. So the executive chair and executive deputy chair then essentially remain even in the amendment bill. The board term remains 3 years, and the members may not be reappointed for more than 2 terms. So it means if I come in, I can only be there for 1 term. Even if the terms are disjointed, it cannot be more than 2 terms. Then there is an addition there under subsection 7 of an inclusion of a new paragraph that says that should both the chairperson and deputy not be able to fulfill their responsibilities, the minister may appoint any of the members contemplated in subsection 1A to temporarily act as the chairperson or the deputy chairperson for a period not exceeding 6 months. And I think we understand the implication of the clause to say that it is planning for a worst case scenario where both the chair and deputy chair are not able to function or discharge their responsibilities. Ordinarily, if the chair is not there, the deputy will step in. And then subsection 10 of the same clause then will speak about the conditions of service of the members, of the board members. And the inclusion there is that the conditions of service are determined by the minister in consultation with the Minister of Finance. And then further substitution relating to conditions of service will be the fact that members who are employed by an organ of state are not entitled to remuneration, so that remains. We have removed the sort of obstruction, I don't know whether to call it obstruction or what, but they were forbidden in essence. Those that are employed by an organ of state, they were forbidden to receive any allowance. So that clause is now removed to say that if, I think it has been raised by the portfolio committee to say that if these members have to travel for work that is aligned to the NYDA's mandate, it would mean that if they're not entitled to any allowance, they would go to New York or any other country for that matter, even if it's Zimbabwe, they would not be entitled to any type of allowance, which would really place a burden on such members. So we've removed that forbidden. I'm just making up my own English here, apologies. And then also we've corrected the wording that speaks to out-of-pocket expenses to say that those are not paid by the board, they are paid by the agency. There's an amendment of section 10, Chair, which speaks to removal of board members. And so section 10 of the Principal Act is hereby amended by the substitution of subsection 1 in the following subsection, and I'll read. A person may not be appointed to or continue to serve as a member if he or she is an unrehabilitated insolvent, that's A, or B, has been convicted of any criminal offense and sentenced to imprisonment without the option of a fine. I think this is a point that we've canvassed also in the meeting previously. Also convicted and fined for more than the prescribed amount for theft, fraud, forgery, perjury, or an offense in connection with the promotion, formation, or management of a company, and also violation of the PFMA itself, and also any other offense that involves dishonesty. We've added also under Roman figure 3, people who are convicted of a gender-based violence and femicide-related offense, or people who are removed from an office of trust. So even if they are not convicted of GBV or sexual harassment, but they've been removed maybe as a result of a disciplinary hearing, for improper conduct, including for sexual harassment, corruption, theft, or fraud. And then a person who has been declared to be of unsound mind by a court or is placed under curatorship or fails to submit his or her annual, I think we've added this word to show that the financial disclosures must be annual in the prescribed form and manner without good cause on more than one occasion. And we've also canvassed Then there is an amendment here that speaks to the process to be implemented in removing members from office. The subsection will now read that the president, on recommendation by the National Assembly, may remove a member from office if the member is found guilty of misconduct, is unable to fulfill his or her duties, is absent from 3 consecutive meetings without permission or good cause, or is disqualified in terms of the subsection that we've just read recently. Now, in terms of suspension, the president, on recommendation by the minister, may suspend a member from office at any time after the start of the proceedings of Parliament for the removal of a member on any grounds contemplated in subsection 2. So essentially then the process to remove members from the board goes through Parliament, and then it is effected by the president, and then the process to suspend a member after the start of the parliamentary process can be initiated by the minister. I think that has also been agreed on Friday. Now, what we think is also a very critical inclusion in the legislation is the issue of dealing with vacancies on the board. So the subsection 595 will read that a vacancy of the board occurs if a member is subject to disqualification on the grounds that are listed above. If also a member is removed from office, if the person resigns or the person dies. And then 6 deals with what happens, and it reads as follows. When a vacancy arises, as contemplated in the subsection 5, the minister may make a recommendation to the president on a nominee to fill the vacancy. And the clause continues to say that this recommendation then has to come from the recent previous shortlist of the board candidates. So which means that if we've got 50 people who've applied and there was a shortlist of 15, and then 7 are appointed, from that shortlist, then the minister can make a recommendation to the president, and then it will still be the president who appoints the replacement to fill the vacancy. And then subsection 7 makes provision for a scenario, worst case scenario, where the board will no longer operate due to vacancies resulting from mass resignations, or if it happens that there are unanticipated delays in filling the vacancies of the board. So the minister must then make a recommendation to the president to dissolve the board, manage the process of appointment process of an interim board in the prescribed manner, and recommend candidates to the president for an appointment to the interim board. And then if the president agrees and appoints the interim board, the president must designate one of the members of the interim board as the chairperson and another member of the interim board as a deputy chairperson, both of whom would also then be interim executive directors. So the same terms as the board would then apply. And then the interim board performs functions of the board until a new board is appointed. The majority of the members present at an interim board constitute a quorum. So that is it in terms of amendments to Section 9 of the Principal Act, Chair. So the bill continues then to speak to amendments to Section 11, specifically after subsection 7, by insertion. Okay, I think there's a bit of a problem here. Let's see. Yes, amendment of Section 12, which speaks to board committees. I'll just verify something here in terms of Section 11 and 12. I think maybe there's text that might be missing. We'll just verify it momentarily. So in terms of Section 12, which speaks to the board committees, the bill reads that the board may establish committees, including there, and there's a removal of those particular asterisks that are there, an executive committee with the removal of the word management. So the Act had an executive management committee. So now this is an executive committee standalone. There is removal of the credit risk committees, because the credit risk committee was at a time where the agency was essentially delivering loans. So it needed to have a committee that speaks about that particular function of credit risk. So it is now removed. Then there is a human resource and remuneration committee, an audit and risk committee. We know that this is prescribed in other legislation. So there's a removal of a specific reference to the Treasury guidelines that speak to the formation of audit committees under Section 77 of the PFMA. So here, then the audit and risk committee remains in terms of the text. A development committee will remain. There's an addition of a social and ethics committee. We know that the issues of ethics are very, very important in the management of companies and in the fiduciary responsibilities of board members. And then the Information, Communication and Technology Committee is also added there. We know that the NYDA and indeed all other employers largely and companies are in the space of the fourth industrial revolution. Some are even talking about the fifth industrial revolution coming up. So we need to be in that space of ICT. So there's a recommendation that the ICT committee is also then set up, and then also any other committee to assist in the performance of its functions. So that age allows for flexibility for the board to be able to establish any other committee going forward. Section 17 of the Principal Act is also amended to speak to the fact that the board may delegate any of its powers or assign any of its duties to the CEO or to a committee referred to in Section 12. So the board can no longer delegate to any employee of the agency, but to a committee or the CEO. So there's a removal of that text in bold. And then in terms of Section 18 of the Principal Act, there's a deletion of paragraph A in subsection 1. And I'll just read that paragraph here quickly from the original Act. Just a moment to verify. Okay, I'm almost there. So yeah, the 18, section 18 of the original Act was talking about the funds of the agency being received from the Umsobombu Youth Fund in terms of the Demutualization Levy Act. So that A is then deleted because the monies from the Umsobomvu Fund were a transitionary arrangement for establishment of the new NYDA as we now know it. Chair. So that has been substituted. And then in terms of amendment of section 19, the section of the Principal Act is hereby amended. So where the Act was saying that the president may make regulations, and we know that the president does not make regulations, we are now replacing that word president with minister who can make regulation in consultations with the board. That remains. And then the last thing I think that we can speak to, or the last few things that we can speak to, is the amendment of the arrangement of the sections of the Act. So how the Act was arranged will then be changed in terms of the new Amendment Act to read as is going to be appearing in the sections that I'm going to project now for the members to notice. So establishment of agency, objects of agency, functions of agency, reporting, and then roles of organs of state, governance, responsibilities, composition of the board, and then the short title, which of course will then change according to when the Act is signed by the President, or the Amendment Act is signed by the President, will then read as per the date of proclamation by the President. So, Chair, that is it in terms of the bill. Just allow me to go back to section 11. I think I had committed that I'm going to look at it quickly just to see what we might be missing there. So section 11 just speaks to the meetings of the board and the procedure. So largely that section remains. And then it is that section, the area, subsection 7, which speaks about interests, which is then amalgamated to a different section of the bill. I think I did read that section that speaks to interests, Chair, about the annual declaration of interest, and also about the prescribed form, and any member who does not declare their interest, what is it that is going to be the consequences. But largely section 11 in terms of meetings of the board remains. It speaks about the quorum. So that Principal Act remains as is, Chair. So that is it in terms of the clause by clause reading of the bill from our side. Over to you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kanaka. By the way, that one, the issue of members of the board declaration of their financial interests. What was the resolution, by the way? You said what?
Chair, the committee resolved that the declaration by members must be annual. That's one.
Yeah.
And then the legislation must prescribe for that. But also, there was a request for the board itself to have some sort of, I'm forgetting the word, but luckily I see that the chair has just raised her hand. She'll speak to that part. But the bill speaks to this. I'm just highlighting it, Chair, to say that if a member fails to submit his or her annual financial interest, financial disclosure in the prescribed form and manner without good cause on more than one occasion, that member may be removed from the board. That's how the bill reads. And then the NYDA will speak about what they will do.
Where are you reading that? Because it says here, according to what I'm reading, you are saying what?
Okay, let me go back to the heading of the clause so that it makes sense.
Yeah.
This clause falls under section 10. Right, it's an amendment to section 10.
Okay.
And section 10 of the Principal Act speaks about, the heading is disqualification, removal from office, and resignation of members. That is section 10. So part of so let's read also maybe subsection 10.1 to say a person may not be appointed or continue to serve as a member if he or she A is an unrehabilitated insolvent, and then B, the person is convicted of the crimes that are listed, or is removed from an office of trust because of sexual harassment or theft or fraud, or if a person is of an unsound mind or declared by a court to be so, or is placed under curatorship, or lastly, if a person fails to submit his or her annual financial disclosure in the prescribed form and manner without good cause on more than one occasion. So that is what the bill says. If the board member does not submit their annual financial interest this year and there's no reason, and then they do also they do it more than once, they do it twice, then the person will be sort of under threat, or they can be disqualified from the board, they can be removed from the board. I hope that reading clarifies.
Yeah, let me get hands from honorable members. Asanda, I see Asanda, that I think is Asanda the chair. Masiko, Chambani.
Yes,
Thank
Chair.
you, Chair. I think in accordance to the discussion that we had last week, Friday, it seems as though it has been correctly captured with the addition of this annual financial disclosure. I think it's correct, Chairperson. They've captured it according to the discussion and agreement that we had last week. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Okay. Thank you, Honorable Masiko. Chambani.
Thank you so much, Chair. Noting that I'm just getting on board. I'm just interested in the section where I think it's section 10. When a vacancy arises, as contemplated in section 5. I'm just checking because we then say the minister will make the recommendation to the president, and this will be based on the short list of the board candidates. In the event we have exhausted the recent shortlist of the board candidates, do we perhaps have a way around that, or it will be something perhaps that can be sent then? But I'm just thinking in the worst case scenario where we have a vacancy and in a general sense, we've exhausted the shortlist of the board candidates vis-a-vis the people that would have generally applied, met the requirements but did not make it to the shortlist. I think my thinking is just there in terms of the inquiry on that particular section. Thanks, Chair.
Okay, Masiko, can you explain for her?
Chair, I missed that a bit. Can you just quickly repeat? I'm sorry, Honorable Temban, can you just, I missed a bit of what you had said. Can you repeat? I'll explain.
That's fine, Honorable Masiko. In summary, I was just asking where we're speaking about if vacancy arises and the minister must make recommendations based on the shortlist, the recent previous shortlist of the board. In the case of that shortlist being exhausted, what becomes the avenue beyond that?
I don't know whether it's my network or hers, but I missed a bit of that part, Honorable Member. Can you just also try and get in a proper network?
Oh, Sheriff?
Thank you, Chair, and good morning. I'm so sorry for joining the meeting late, Chair. Hello, Honorable Timbani. It's great to meet you. Welcome to the Portfolio Committee. I'm sure you'll get a proper introduction when we meet in person. But just to answer your question, so basically how the committee decided was when you do the advert for the position of the board, we as the Portfolio Committee will determine how many people essentially we will interview that will make up the list. But it's a good question, maybe directed to the department. What happens if, say, we have a list of 20 people or 25 people and 7 go in and we go through that list? How would it look if that list were to be exhausted? I hope that covers you. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, maybe let me protect the department. We have agreed, honorable members, that for your benefit, Honorable Chairman, is that when we do the shortlisting, we shortlist more candidates. Like, for instance, now we shortlisted, I think, 17 candidates that we presented to the House and the House adopted, supported for the President to choose amongst the 17 members, 7 board members, and then the 10 were left. And then what we recommended is that then the President will have to look at the list that we have adopted in the House to fill in the positions of the board members who would have resigned or have passed on. Remember, when they replace a board member who has passed on or has resigned, they are continuing with the term of office of that individual board member. Exactly when that 3-year term expires, that term expires, and that list expires. And then we start a new process, a cycle now, because a term of the NYDA is only 3 years. So what we are recommending is that the President may then appoint from the list that we would have adopted in Parliament and submitted to the President, so for the replacement of a deceased member or a member that has resigned. So the President must look at that list and appoint the next person on the list to be a part of a board member to conclude the term of the said board member. I hope that that answers your question. But it doesn't. Sorry.
No, I was going to say I am covered, Chair. Thank you for that clarity.
Yeah, I think it needs to be captured correct, so that we must not miss this one, because it's like in the CGE. In CGE, that's exactly what we said. And a person is, when a person is appointed replacing a board member, that person the term of office will end according to that board member or that commissioner who is being replaced. It's not that this person will start another 5 years. If the person resigned in half term, maybe in 2.5 years, that means the person who's going to be replacing that member will be from replacing that 2.5 years term, not 5 years. So I think with the NYDA, it must be captured correctly. So as I'm saying, because that's what we have proposed as the portfolio committee, to avoid a situation where there is a gap and the NYDA is no longer having quorums, is left with 2 board members, and they are no longer able to take decisions, because we are from that situation with the NYDA. I think I have represented honorable members correctly. If there's any other matter that maybe, okay, Masiko, I see that you said you've been interrupted. It's okay. Yeah, thank you, honorable members. Honorable Sheriff.
Yes, Chair. My hand's not up, Chair.
Oh, okay. Sheriff?
No, Chair, my hand's not up.
Oh, it's not up, okay. Asanda? Oh, Mam Sonti first.
Thank you, Chairperson. Good morning, Chairperson. Good morning to Minister, Deputy Minister. Good morning to the department. Good morning to the members of the committee. Welcome to the new member to our portfolio committee. Chairperson, mine, it's not directly goes to the clause, but I think it is very, very important, more especially to your committee, as if you are the chairperson of the women, youth, and the person with disabilities. And then now we're on this bill of NYDA, and which is very important also. Yeah. So my question, Chairperson, I want to know to the NYDA that what is the relationship of them, between them and the police department? What is their role of the NYDA, which are their play in the crime, which is highly rate in this nowadays in the whole South Africa? Why I'm asking this, Chairperson, in Marikana, there's no police station. The police station is far, it's in the ward, not in this ward, which is I'm staying, and the ward which has got many problems which are happening during the day, all the day. And also there's no clinic. The clinic we have It's only a chairperson opens at 9 o'clock and closed at 4 o'clock. And then the community in large here, there's no clinic. There are many things which are happening, so there's no help at all after hours. Chairperson, I remember on Friday, I was interrupted in the committee meeting because I've told you that I was on the way to the funeral. The funeral, which was a bit, because why I'm saying that the guy whom we're going to bury him was killed brutally in this what I'm talking about. Killed by unknown person, by the bullets. On our way come back on Sunday, again, Chairperson, on Saturday, we lost 5 young people died in this community. They are killed also like that one. And the young woman is in coma in hospital right now when I'm talking. So I'm worried because I've asked several times a minister of the police to give us a little satellite for the police station so that at least this crime can be reduced. But nothing happened until now. So I just want to know, what is the real help for the NYDA in these communities I'm talking about? Thank you, Chairperson. I'm so sad. And we're always in a fear in this community because we don't know who is tomorrow, because each and every day the people are dying here. Thank you, Chairperson.
Okay. Let me do this, Mam Sonti. Honorable members, I think fortunately Roman figure 3 of the bill talks about convicted of gender-based violence and femicide-related offense, meaning a board member cannot be appointed if the person has been convicted of a gender-based violence and femicide-related offense. But I think with regards to the functions of the NYDA, I think there is somewhere where we talk about involvement of the NYDA in issues of gender-based violence. But with the specific matter that Mam Sonti is raising now, can we pack it, ne? And we finish the bill and then go back to the matter that Mam Sonti is raising now? Can I get hands from honorable members so that we attend to the matters Mam Sonti as raised optimally? Let's deal with the bill. Honorable Sharif.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. I agree with you. I think it's very important to discuss the issue Mam Sonti raised. Let's wrap up with the bill, and then we can come back with a plan of action on how we can assist Mam Sonti.
Thank you very much, Honorable Sharif. Thank you, Ma. Immediately when we finalize the issue bill, Ma, we are going to speak about what the things that you just raised now.
Thank you, Chairperson.
Yeah, uzasinikeza kahle story sisikhonbisiso. Yeah.
All right, Chair.
Okay. Okay, honorable members, are we satisfied with how we have deliberated on the bill and how we have amended some of the clauses that were inserted before, were gazetted, whereby in the bill, and now I think this is the product now of the portfolio committee on our deliberations on what the bill entails, and so that we can go to clause by clause and vote for whether the bill is desirable or not desirable. Honorable members, can I get hands from yourselves? Okay, Asanda first before honorable members. Let me get Asanda. Asanda.
Oh, thank you very much, Chairperson. Apologies if I'm taking the meeting back slightly, but I wanted to add on to what Mr. Khanagha was raising in respect to the annual financial disclosure. And just to appraise the honorable members that in last week's meeting, there was a recommendation that we develop a code of conduct for members to sign. And just to confirm that we are in the process of drafting that particular code of conduct, and the issue then of the annual disclosures will be sufficiently covered, where we also then stipulate the consequence management for non-compliance to the disclosure. So that will be highlighted in the code of conduct, which we'll be presenting to the board by end of year this year. So we just wanted to raise that, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Asanda. That is very much important. I think, in fact, you reminded us on what have we concluded on in terms of non-disclosure of financial interest by board members. Thank you very much. That is our decision. Mr. Khanagha, also quickly. Khanagha, Emmanuel, now quickly when.
No, I had not forgotten the context, but the wording is what eluded me.
Our penis will go through, Oh yeah, I think Sandra, you captured it correct, 100% correct. Yeah, thank you, Siabong. The update. Let me get hands. Suen.
Thank you, Chairperson. I just have one issue I would like to raise before the committee progresses. It's related to the filling of vacancies from the list of shortlisted candidates. That is on page, I think it's on 14, or it's the proposed amendment to section 10. Chairperson, can I recommend that the
Let Mr. Khanagha go to it, Swen. Emmanuel, go to it.
Is it here?
It's 6. It's sub clause 6. Just a little up.
All right. Yeah. Okay. There you go.
Yes, Chairperson. Just that the last wording from the previous short list of the board candidates, I would suggest that the wording just be made clear from the list of candidates recommended by the previously recommended by the National Assembly, so we know clearly what we're referring to. It's the recommended as opposed to shortlisted. If the on the House report, then it's recommended by the House.
Okay.
Thank you, Chair.
Okay. Thank you very much, and it makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we will engage to end and just get the correct wording. Chair.
Okay.
And I think there was also something you said earlier about the issue of mentioning that where a member comes in to fill a vacancy, they will be on the board for the remaining term. So we'll just find ways to capture those two elements together.
Yes.
Under this law.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Honorable Boni.
Thank you, Chairperson, and good morning to yourselves and honorable members, the DM and the team from NYDA and from the department. Chair, mine, you were asking a question, are we covered? Are we okay? I just wanted to say that having started this meeting today, I think things are getting clearer, and maybe to appreciate the work that you have done with the team, because you mentioned earlier that you had to work after the meeting last week. So I think your work with the team you're working with assisted us greatly, because things are even easier and more understandable. But what is also important, earlier you asked, important from my side, earlier you asked the CEO that, CEO, what we are reading here, do you understand it? And will the CEO that comes when you are not there also understand? I think was a good question, but also to add to say that everything must be also understood by all board members in case the CEO, whoever is not there, whoever will be acting coming from the board for a temporary time, they should be also in the know-how in terms of what needs to be done and what are the roles and responsibilities. So I think, Chair, well done to the team that worked with yourselves last week, Friday. Thank you so much. It's getting clearer and clearer. We're now understanding most of the amended items on the as we go on with our work today. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Honorable Bonnie. Thank you. Siyabonga kakhulu, siyababongela nabo. And Masiko, Honorable Masiko.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Chair. My hand was up on the issue of desirability. I don't know whether we're there, Chair, because before you had asked about it, and then there was the hand from the state law attorney, but Chair, mine was up on that item. I don't know if I can proceed.
Okay, Nelly, what is the next step?
It's the consideration and adoption of the motion of desirability report, Chair.
Yeah, we
Then
now read it.
Okay,
Read it, correct, yeah.
Okay, can Mr. Khanaka remove?
Dr. Penis?
Thanks, Chairperson. I just want to bring to your attention before we move to the desirability, the issue which the Chairperson alluded to in our one-to-one meeting. Under functions of the agency 5.1b, the Chairperson mentioned the issue of establishment of offices of the agency. So it is not reflected in the current bill because it is in the Principal Act. So I wanted to just bring that to the attention of the meeting so that you look at the clause and just to confirm if we are happy the way it is. In the Principal Act, if I may take the Chairperson through this, it reads as follows. Establish offices of the agency at provincial and local levels and appoint the necessary personnel to those offices. So it is what is reflected in the current. And we have not included that clause because it is in the Principal Act. Thank you.
So, Dr. Penis, and Elisa, please accept Mr. Ndlela, which he has been kicked out by the network.
Okay.
Accept back. Dr. Penis, I think that one, it must be included in the bill.
Yes, Chairperson, I'm just confirming that it is there because the bill will have to be read in conjunction with the Principal Act. So it is still as is.
Okay. No, for as long as it's kept hard, because that's what we expressed as the portfolio committee and across all parties. That's what we need. As long as it's not scrapped, it's still there in the Principal Act. And when you are reading the clause by clause, clause A and clause B, I think it must be read correctly so that we don't miss anything else, because those are the critical matters that we raised in the portfolio committee, that there is a need for expansion of the offices of the NYDA being established in the districts, especially in the rural provinces. If it's here, then it's okay. Tina will see it, Dr. Benis, when we are reading clause by clause, if it's captured correct. Are you satisfied, Dr. Benis? And thank you for, in fact, reminding us on it. It must be there. Because Emmanuel remove National Youth Fund, so ngiyayibona ukuthi under OB. So with the new bill is over under what, Emmanuel?
Yeah, it will, Chair, thank you. It will still fall under the same subsection. So immediately after the objects, or the functions, immediately after the functions will be this sentence that speaks to provincial and local levels. Yeah, so I've just put the original act to support what Dr. Benis is saying, to show that indeed it remains in the act. Yeah, it hasn't been removed even from the bill.
All right. Okay.
I'll stop sharing as requested by Nelly.
Okay. Nelly? Nelly, sir?
Chair, I've just checked. I'm not sure if you can see the report, Chair. Can I continue, Chair, and read it?
There's no report.
I've just shared it. Is it not clear on the screen, Chair?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I read it, Chair?
Yes.
Okay. The draft report of the Portfolio Committee on Women, Youth and Persons with Disabilities on the National Youth Development Agency Amendment Bill, which is Bill 13/2022, dated, I'll put today's date, which is 14 November. The Portfolio Committee on Women, Youth and Persons with Disabilities thereafter referred to the committee, having considered the National Youth Development Agency Amendment Bill, which is Bill 13/2022, National Assembly Section 75, referred to it and classified by the Joint Tagging Mechanism, JTM, as the Section 75 bill, reports as follows. Point number 1, the National Youth Development Agency Amendment Bill was tabled in Parliament and referred on the 9th of June to the committee and to the JTM in terms of Joint Rule 1594 tagging. The bill was subsequently tagged as Section 75 by the Joint Tagging Mechanism. The objectives of the bill seeks to amend the National Youth Development Agency Act 2008 so as to insert the new definition, to amend the provision relating to the objects of the agency, to amend the function of the agency, to amend provision relating to reporting by the agency, to provide for organs of state to assist the agency, to provide for the governance responsibilities of the board, to provide for additional board members, to provide that a board member may not be reappointed for more than 2 consecutive terms, to provide that board members must submit their financial disclosure, to amend matters pertaining to the meeting of the board, to amend the function of the agency, to authorize the minister to make regulations, and to provide matters connected therewith. Point number 3, the committee received its first briefing on the National Youth Development Agency Amendment Bill from the Department of Women, Youth and Persons with Disability on the 22nd of November 2022. In facilitating effective public participation on the NYDA Amendment Bill, the committee conducted in-person and virtual public hearings on the 24th of October on the bill. A total of 6 oral submissions were heard by the committee during these hearings. The following organizations / individual presented during public hearings, and these were the National Youth Development Agency. I'm not sure if I'll pronounce it correctly. It's Trifani, I'm not sure. Trifani Youth Foundation, Youth Empowerment Organization, Mr. Esimbonani, Nuptafsa, and Nelson Mandela Children Fund. The committee received oral from individuals and organizations such as civil society organization, non-governmental organization, the NYDA, and individuals. In addition to the public hearings, the committee received 14 written submissions from the public. The written submissions were submitted electronically, via email, and online. The Department of Departments of Women, Youth and Persons with Disability responded to issues raised during public hearings on written submission on the 31st of October and 3rd November. The committee deliberated on the NYDA Amendment Bill on 7th. Then I will add today's meeting, Chair, which is the 14 November 2023. National Assembly Rule 28641 requires that the committee, after due deliberation, must consider a motion of desirability on the subject matter of the bill, and if rejected, must immediately table the bill and its report on the bill. Based on all the input received and engagements on the NYDA Amendment Bill, a motion of desirability on the subject matter is placed before the committee as required by the National Assembly Rule 28641 to vote on. Votes in favor of the motion of desirability of the bill, which is 10 members, Honorable C.N. Raba, F. Masiko, T. Masondo, C. Piri, A. Shongo, G. Marekwa, N. Sharif, G. Opperman, M. Kaula, H. Hlengwa. I've listed all the permanent members, Chair, and the votes rejecting the motion of desirability, I will name them if there are any members who are rejecting. In concluding, the committee accordingly agreed that the subject matter of the bill is desirable and should be further considered and processed by the committee. Chairperson at the end. Thank you, Chair. This is the report, Chair.
Okay. Thank you very much, honorable members. I now call upon hence, I will say Pans Dentoleha. Why you put him Palimochi?
It's her name, Chair.
Initially one.
Khobona Mang.
Can be
You got it. You got it. You got it.
Oh.
I got it right, Honorable Bonnie.
Yes, yeah, Khobona Mang.
Khobona Mang.
Oh, Khobona Mang. Okay. Okay, let me call upon honorable members. Nyayas themselves, one by one. I need.
Can I just check quickly?
Okay.
I just heard the last sentence from Osis Nelly saying she called the permanent members. So I'm not sure. But I fall because as an alternate.
I'm an alternate, don't vote.
Thanks, Whip.
Chair, can I come in?
See, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Patiponi was a permanent member, Masiko. Nelly, what's going on here?
Can we?
Chair, at the time when we drafted the report, Honorable Marekwa was a permanent member. They've just changed her last week, Chair. So I'll just put the new member, Miss.
No, but how did you remove her? She was part.
Chair, can we seek advice on this one? Yeah, because there is something that says that
let's get Suen. What is your advice regarding this one? Honorable Boni is been part of the deliberations on this bill from its inception until the last day. So what do we do? Because the redeployment of members, it started this week. So what do we do?
Can you just get the rule? I'll just get back to you.
You'll revert back to me. Okay.
And then, Chair, sorry, Chair.
Chair.
Yes.
Chair, Honorable Masiko is correct, Chair. Alternate do not vote, Chair. They only vote when the permanent member is not there. Hence, you don't see the name of Honorable Sondi in here, Chair. So, by virtue that Honorable Marekwa is an alternate, now she's replaced by the new member. So, we'll have to put the new member now in this report, Chair, not Honorable Marekwa.
And then, Chair, sorry, what about me? Because Mama Kaula is not here. I just check her on the participation members. It's not there as the main member and the alternate, I know. But what are we going to do about her? Because it's not here.
No, Neliswa, you must reflect alternate members who were part of this of deliberations of the bill. You can't just write a report and not reflect which they were part of this Lokunjan. Mam Sonti was here up and from day one until the last day.
Yes,
Chair. She's been here from day one until the last day. Put them under la.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair.
Manje report is or reflect and they were not part. No, they participated. This is their leaders. How?
Chair, ngoba iyangihlukumeza network ake ngilungisela mina ngu-MS Khawula osebataka ngiyanibingelela ngegama likaJehova hlushwa network lana.
Okay, ma.
Ngicela ni correct MS Khawula.
All right. MS.
Yeah, can I also request that?
Take
although besenenkinga lana ngibonge Chair ukuthi mase nicaciswa ngoba bese nginewari ukuthi why ngoba phela u-Honorable Sonto besi always sinaye benginakho lokhu manje yabo manje bengifuna ukwazi and nokunye kungididayo
abantu they must reflect
ngibheka lapha yes and mawusabheka lapha ANC yonke yona ikhona
from day one up
nasebenzile naye ube ne-input ayifakile yes angiyiboni lento ku hayi angiyazi ukuthi kuyenzelwani And eyiyo imithetho lefuna siyilungise. Ngiyabonga Chair. Thanks.
Zange balova nokulova. So asikwazi okay, in terms of voting, angeke sibavotise, but in terms of participation, they were there. We need to thank them. They played a very important role in this bill. The acknowledgement of the service zabo, the participation zabo, they are very much important. Make sure initials wabantu are captured correct. Umasondo, I don't know which nekameli wandagati.
PS Masondo.
Carol nekameli wan.
CM. I'm Carol Mokhadi.
Myself also Chair. It's GP. Hobona Mam Prudence. Thank you, Sis Nelly.
Chair, I am MD Hlengwa, MD.
Chair, for Makata, it's also TZ Makata. Thank you.
I think where you wrote votes in favor of the motion of the desirability of the bill, write the full number of the bill. Don't write just the bill. Write it in full. No, it's national law. So 2023. So when are we still writing B13 2022 or B13 2023?
Chairperson, it's the bill number as introduced, so it's 2022.
Okay.
Chair, you still want me to comment on the alternatives? I found the rule that is applicable.
Yes. So when we say
yes, so Rule 156.2 says an alternate acts as a member when the member for which the alternate was appointed is A, absent, or has vacated office until the vacancy is filled. So it's only when the permanent member is not present that the alternate member can vote.
Yeah, they are not going to vote, but they must reflect in our report.
Chair.
Hello, Carol.
Chair, I think because of the person who just spoke now as the advisor, under here it says votes in favor of the motion of desirability. Chair, I think what the law says. It says under these names, you only write full-time members, but in a register, where up there when Nelly will be doing a report, will indicate all members who were present. But under the heading of vote in favor, you only need to write only a full-time members, Chair, so that we must not miss the understanding of only you vote when the full-time member is not there. But because the heading on top, it says votes in favor, these names must not be included in this paragraph, but they must be mentioned up there in attendance, all of them. That is my understanding, unless otherwise I'm not getting a proper understanding. But where Uneli in the minutes that we are going to adopt, it's going to indicate all members who were present in the meeting, but currently under votes in favor, it only needs only members who are full-time. So I think in this paragraph, Marekwa and Mamsonti must be removed, but subject to correction if I'm not understanding it correctly. Thanks, Chair.
Maybe after votes in favor, you'll write under this ne yabona la ubhale votes uzabhala angithi uzokhipha uMamsonto noBoni, and then ubhale other members participated as alternate members but did not vote. Yeah, the following members participated but did not vote.
Thank you, Chair. I think it's proper.
Yeah. Due to their alternate members. Yeah. Yes. Remove again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that correct?
No, I'm done, Chair.
Isa phansi ke kancane. Isa ngithini? Yeah, isa phansi ufuna ukufunda. No, not lapha. Yeah, phezulu. Yeah, wait. Udlulile manje.
Udlulile.
Ubhale khona. Yeah.
With the names.
Yeah. Honorable members, I'm now calling for honorable members to vote on the motion on the desirability of the National Youth Development Agency Amendment Bill number 13 of 2022. Starting with myself. Or starting with the members. If you're starting with myself, I say yes, the bill is desirable. Honorable Masiko?
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. I vote in favor of the motion on desirability of the bill. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Masiko. Honorable Masondo.
Thank you, Chairperson. I vote desirable. The bill is desirable.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Masondo. Honorable Piri.
Thank you, Chairperson. I vote in favor. The bill is desirable, even though I expected to be an alternate.
Wena. Okay. Yes,
Uyakhala.
Uyakhala. Honorable Shongo.
I vote in favor.
Thank you, Honorable Shongo. Honorable TZ Makata.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I vote in favor. The bill is desirable. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Makata. Honorable Sharif.
Here, I do not vote in favor, and Honorable Opperman will provide reasons if necessary. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Honorable Sharif. Honorable Opperman.
Thank you, Chairperson. Good morning, colleagues. I want to state, Chair, that I'm satisfied that the amendments and deliberations was done procedurally correct and that due process was followed. But on the basis of clause 41D, I cannot support this bill because it will give favor on the basis of skin color to some youth to the exclusion of others. And on the basis of this, it will not take us as a country in the direction of non-racialism and are in fact discriminatory in essence. Therefore, I cannot support, Chair. Thank you.
What is 4D saying?
4D saying, Chairperson, that only particular youth designated in the groups as in the Employment Equity Act will be favoured by the bill.
So meaning you don't agree with Employment Equity Act?
Meaning I don't support in favour of some to the exclusion of others, Chair.
I'm not sure with that one. What is the Principals Act saying? Mr. Kanaka, what was the Principal Act saying?
We'll project it now, Chair.
Chair, it won't even assist you. It's a party line.
Okay, I'll come to that, Mr. Kanaka. Honorable Kaula.
Ngixolise ungena ngibingelele chair nani nonke nami ngivota in favor, although sengiyabonga manithi lento izobuyela emuva ngoba nginombuzo la ukuthi all along ayisithi noma sebexabene bodwa endaba. Ngiyabonga.
Oh, okay, thank you very much, Honorable Kaula Mamsengwa.
I vote in favor, Chair.
Thank you very much, Ma. Let's check. Thank you very much, Honorable Sengwa. Before I close the nomination, vote. Let me check, honorable members, what is Honorable Opperman saying through you, Mr. Kanaka. What was the Principal Act saying?
Oh, Chair, I was looking at the bill. Let me just check the act.
Is she talking about the inclusion of the broad inclusion of everyone, irrespective of race, sexual orientation, and so forth? Is she talking about that one, or is not?
No, Chair. It's the clause that speaks directly to employment equity, Chair.
It's clause 41D, Chairperson.
Through you, Chairperson.
Dr. Penis?
There's no reflection in the Principal Act. This particular clause is reflected under the objects of the agency for 1D in the bill. But then when we look at the Act under the objects of the agency, there's no specific reflection of this clause. The only related clause to this one is 3I, which says endeavor to promote the interests generally of youth, particularly young people with disabilities. That's the only one that is closely related to this specific clause. Thank you, Chairperson.
Chair, if I could ask Bernice to read clause 4, 1D.
Clause 4 reads as follows: broadly promote the interest of youth, particularly youth who fall within the designated groups contemplated in the Employment Equity Act.
That's it, Chair.
Employment
That's
Equity Act number
on.
55 of 1998. Thank you. Maybe to explain further, honorable members, the reason why this specific clause was expanded, the aim was to ensure that we redress the imbalances of the past by looking at the previously disadvantaged group. Hence, it actually refers to the employment equity. So promotion of the interest of young people is not going to be exclusively to young persons with disabilities, but it will also address the needs of Black youth because they also fall within these designated groups.
I think the first interviews that we made as the portfolio committee, Dr. Bernice, the exclusion of other race was raised. Hence, we had to redo the interviews to include everyone and not discriminate according to skin color, sexual orientation, disability, and so forth. I think there were things that were raised at that time to us as the portfolio committee. Hence, we had to redo the interviews so that the recommendations are inclusive. They don't discriminate anyone. So I'm not sure whether that clause now is still relevant in terms of because youth, I think youth in South Africa is youth. It's inclusive, whether we are Black, white, purple, disabled, or LGBTQAI+. Remember, before the NYDA was taken as if there was a perception of, or a say that NYDA is for the ANC, and we said no, but NYDA is not for the ANC. NYDA is for all young people of South Africa. So I'm not sure whether at this time that clause that we are discussing now, we still have to go back there, or hours, it should be inclusive. State law advisors and the and Suen, what is your opinion regarding that one?
Chair, maybe before the state law advisors, if you may allow me, is the Director General.
DG?
Thank you, Chair. I hear what you're saying, Chair, but there are two things that I'm just raising them. I think the committee will have to have that in mind when they make the final decision. The first one is that the Employment Equity Act has not been implemented. People are not implementing it. That's why it was being reviewed. I think it's in Parliament now, if it's not in its process to Parliament, because they are reviewing it to make it stronger. But also, I would like the committee to get the statistics of young persons in South Africa, to look at the fact that Black African children, I think they constitute 79%, if not more. And then the other 3, they constitute 21. But most of the time, when the committees are being set up, those statistics are not taken into consideration. You find sometimes people saying 50-50 or whatever. We cannot go 50-50, but also when you look at the 79% of more of the youth, the unemployment is there, poverty is there. The committee can't just look at it from the other angle and not look at the actual context of Black African children. That's what I wanted to say. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying have this context in mind. Thank you.
I heard you, DG. Okay, thank you very much, DG, with your explanation. Let's continue, honorable members. Yes, who's that?
It's Honorable Sharif, Chair.
Okay.
Chair, with all due respect, let me say that I hear what the DG is saying, and the realities of our country is, not equal. We don't live in an equal society. That's the truth. But when it comes to young people and opportunities, everybody deserves a fair chance. No matter who you are, no matter where you come from, everybody deserves a fair chance to be able to compete in a setting, and it is up to government to make sure that that fair chance and that setting is there, so that we don't work in a society where people are more equal than others. And that's all we're saying, Chair. So with all due respect to the DG, we are sticking to our guns, and we are saying we cannot vote for this bill if we speak about employment equity and quotas. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair. Sorry ukungena ngembobeni lethu. Mina uDG ngiyamuzwa and futhi
thank you very much, honorable members. Let me close the voting. Now is closed. We have voted, honorable members, except the rejection of the motion by the Democratic Alliance, which is their right. And then all the other parties have agreed on the bill being desirable. Thank you very much, honorable members. Let's close it in that way.
I told you it's not.
And then we'll then go to the next item, honorable members. Let's go to the next item.
It's public inputs report, Chair.
What about them? We have done that.
No, Chair.
No, Chair.
Chair.
We've just adopted. Oh, sorry.
Chair.
Ma'am Kaula?
Yes, yabona nje eqinisweni angazoyibeka kanjani ngoba kuzoba sengathi kwenzakalani lana. Yabona lana che, eqinisweni mina ngiyavumelana no-DJ. Ngoba uyabona uma ubheka abantu bala eSouth Africa, i-youth yala hayi ngeke. Uyangizwa che? Che. Ngithi yabona mina ngiyavumelana no-DJ. Kushwa i-network othi ngehle futhi kule moto ngihambe phansi zobanjwa zigebengu uNkulunkulu. Zobanjwa zigebengu. Ngithi mina che ngiyavumelana no-DJ. Yabona ifu sikhuluma uyangizwa? Are you hear me?
Yes, ma.
Jesus. Uyangizwa che?
Yes, ma, ngiyakuzwa.
Awuthi ngiphume emotweni. Ngithi DJ why ngimvume.
Okay, Nelly, Mamkawula, problem in network. Let's get what is the next item? Mamkawula sizophinde simbuyise futhi. We're done with voting. Let's go to the next item. Ithini Nelly?
I'm going to share the public inputs report, Chair.
Okay. Masiko ngicela ukuthi ungibambele kancane ngisafuna ukuya eceleni.
Kulungile, Chair. Honorable members, we will now go to item number 3 of the agenda, which is the
ngivumela because i-population
Mamkawula. Oh, okay. She's left the platform. We'll now go to the report on the public hearings on the National Youth Development Agency Amendment Bill. And who will be presenting this report, Nelly? Is it Kashifa?
Yes.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Chairperson. Good afternoon, members, the Deputy Minister, the delegations, the department, and the DG, and the NYDA. Before us is the report of the Portfolio Committee on the public hearings on the National Youth Development Agency Bill B13 2022. We will insert today's date at the top of the report, which is the 14th. In terms of the introduction, as noted in the previous report, it indicates that it's Section 75, which was introduced on 9 June 2022 as per the ATC number 88, 9 June 2022. Number 2 is just the background and provides the objects of the bill as was cited in the previous report. Nelisa, if you can move down to number 3, public participation, please. Just a little bit up for members to see. This section covers when the call for public submissions was opened on the 30th of April and was closed on 6th June. Table 1 reflects all the newspapers and the languages in which it was advertised. If we could move down, please. Nelisa, thank you. To the next page. To follow on, it was also placed on Parliament's website. Members of the public were able to provide a submission either online or email or other request an opportunity to make an oral submission. As noted in the table, it was advertised in provincial and national media for people to request an opportunity to make the oral presentations, which was done on the 24th of October. The committee received 6 submissions via the online platform, 7 via email, which were from a range of individuals and organizations. The Nelson Mandela Children's Fund submitted the same written submission online and via email. It was the same submission. So therefore, we received in total 12 submissions by the 6th of June. There were 2 in addition post the closing date. One was received on the 10th of June, and on the 17th of October, the committee also made a request to the NYDA to do an oral submission. So in total, 14 written submissions, 5 organizations and 2 individuals requested an opportunity to make an oral submission on the 24th of October. And as noted in the previous report, the committee heard from 6 presentations on the day. Moving to number 4, Neliswa, in terms of the public hearings. We've listed in table 2 the names of the organizations as well as individuals that presented to the committee on the day, as listed there and was reflected in our previous report, which we just adopted. So from the submissions received, 8 submissions supported the bill, 1 submission did not indicate support, 5 submissions did not specifically tick the box which indicates support or no support for the bill, and 1 of these submissions comments did not relate to the bill. And notwithstanding that, those 4 submissions provided recommendations for improving the bill and did not outright state that they rejected the bill in the written submission. Thus, the large majority of the submission, which is 12 out of 14, 85.7%, were in support of the bill and indicating areas for strengthening provisions. Table 3 was the table in which the department presented to the committee. It outlines the column on the left, the stakeholder, the summary of the submission is the column 2, and then the department's response is in the 3rd column. So everything reflected in table 3 is what the committee had seen, which was presented to the department. So we could go to the end of the table, Nelisa. Thank you. The table is extensive and covers each and every submission, its summary, as well as the response by the department. We've ensured that we've captured exactly what the department presented to the committee. Right to the end, Nelisa, thank you. There we go. Just if we could move slightly up to number 5. So with respect to responses, concerns raised during the public hearings, the Department of Women, Youth and Persons with Disabilities responded to the submissions and presented to the Portfolio Committee on 31 October and 3 November. I think given the deliberations, we'll also include the dates of the 10th, 7th, 10th, and 14th to accurately reflect when the department had responded to matters raised by the committee. So overall, the department took cognizance of the concerns raised by the committee and amended the bill accordingly, taking into account lengthy discussions held on what should be retained or not. The matters raised by the committee included the following: the bill to be formulated in a manner that takes into consideration the current practices, but should be limited to that, but accommodate the future needs of the agency. Executive powers of the chairperson and deputy chair, the ex officio members, a PFMA Schedule 3A, the demographic profile on age cohort, NYDA as policy contributor, and just based on the discussions of Friday, it was also the objects of the agency in Eliswa in terms of retaining. So the extra bullet point after NYDA as policy contributor would be retain objects of agency as per Principal Act. The committee has scheduled clause by clause deliberations on the bill for 13 November, having received responses on the public submissions from the department, the state law advisor, and the parliamentary legal advisor. Thank you, Nelly. So it's the 14th. So in conclusion, the committee welcomed the introduction of the NYDA Amendment Bill and saw it as an opportunity to improve the enabling legislation in order to strengthen the agency. The committee is satisfied with the positive and detailed discussions that took place during public hearings. The committee expresses its gratitude to the organizations and individuals that made submissions on the bill and reiterates the importance of public participation when Parliament deals with legislation. In terms of resolutions, having received presentations and public opinions on the bill and responses from the department should incorporate the recommendations proposed by the committee and the state law advisor and the parliamentary advisor to provide legal opinion on issues raised by the committee. And this is just a report for noting, members. So it captures the process and outcomes in relation to the public participation process we held, our public hearings and our submissions. Thank you, Ms. Masiko and members. That's it. Ms. Masiko? Yeah, thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much. Kashifa, is the chairperson back?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Masiko and honorable members. And then what's next?
Chairperson, we will just hear from Chairperson and members whether Chairperson and members are satisfied with the public participation report.
Yes, we are satisfied. Let me hear from honorable members. Honorable Sheriff, the public participation report.
Yeah, no issues on my side.
Okay, thank you very much. Masiko.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. We are satisfied with the process itself and the report in terms of how the process has unfolded. We are happy, Chairperson, and we note. Thank you very much.
Honorable Mam Kaula.
Ngakwiside lam chair. Uyangizwa?
Yebo, siyakuva ma.
Ayi sengikude kamni sengophuca nale phone. Bye.
Okay, siyabonga ma. Honorable Mamhlengwa.
Ngiyavumelana sihlalo.
Okay, thank you very much, honorable members. Thank you very much, Kashifa, for capturing all the work that we have done so far and the inputs from the submissions, whether written or verbal submissions. Thank you very much for capturing them correctly so in our report. Thank you very much. And then let me get the mover and the seconder of this report. Mama Sondo.
Thank you, Chairperson. I move the adoption of the report.
Mhlengwa.
Thank you, Chairperson. I second the adoption of the report.
Thank you very much, honorable members. This report has been duly adopted by honorable members of the Portfolio Committee. What is the next item then, Nelly?
The last one, Chair, is clause by clause of the bill, Chair. It's the document that the department presented. Just we have to go clause by clause, Chair.
Okay. Over to you. Who's going to present? Dr. Penis? Emmanuel?
Yes, Chair, we're here.
Kungani-ke manje?
We're here. Okay, so So they are requesting us to present the bill.
Yebo baba. Hope you have cleaned and you have put things that we amended today also correctly so.
Yeah. Okay, Chair. Just trying to project it. Yeah, so earlier when I presented, I thought the task that I'm supposed to do now, I was doing it then. So humble apologies. Okay. So Chair, I'll continue in this vein.
Swen, I see the end of Swen.
With your permission, can I just advise the committee about the process in terms of the rules?
I can't hear you, Swen.
Chairperson, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Quickly just advise the committee on the process going forward in terms of the rules. So the committee considered the working document of the department, and before we go to the formal process of going clause by clause, we need to produce what is called the A list, and that must be adopted by the committee, and then the B bill, which is when we do the clause by clause. Because at this stage, the document is in
Swen, I'm struggling to hear you properly.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, Chair. What I'm saying is that the document before us is a working document in a draft form. We need to adapt this document into what is called the A list, which is the amendments proposed by the committee. And that must be then sent to the printers to be put into a B bill. So those documents are what the committee must consider next. We now have the amendments agreed to by the committee. So the next stage is for us to formalize it in an A list, and then the committee will consider that A list and then go clause by clause to adopt the B bill. So at this stage, we do not go clause by clause on the working documents.
Yeah, and in fact, I wanted to ask you about that because I remember even last time, that's how we did it. If my memory serves me well, like for instance, what Emmanuel was presenting in the morning was a working document on what we deliberated on last week. And then today he was presenting that so that we can go through it and see if all the things that we deliberated on were captured correctly and you're agreeing as honorable members. That is my understanding. So what is supposed to happen now is that you are supposed to sit again as a yourselves and the department and finalize the final document and come and present clause by clause to the portfolio committee, if I'm correct.
Yes, Chair, you are correct. That's the next step in the process.
Yeah, so but what Mr. Emmanuel is going to present now, isn't it what we're doing?
So, the document that is presenting now is still in draft. If you remember, we also made some additions that we need to capture. So the only document that committee should be considering next is the A list. That is the correct format of the proposed amendment. This document before the committee is not in the correct format. We need to capture all the amendments correctly and then bring that to the committee for consideration, and then the committee will consider the B bill clause by clause. So it's just a little premature for us to go clause by clause. We need to take the proposed amendments, including the additions the committee agreed to, and then capture that in the A list, which we will bring the next meeting.
Okay. Emmanuel, you heard that?
Yes, sir. I heard it. So my understanding is that what we presented in the morning and together with the rest of the changes will be compiled by Parliament into an A list, which is a consolidated version of the two different pieces of legislation. That is where the clause by clause analysis will come. So I understood. We on our side will not delay in providing the latest working document so that the process in Parliament of the A list can then start in earnest. Thank you.
Yeah, so I think we have done this part, or there's no need for us to repeat it. What is your suggestion, honorable members?
I think, Chairperson, it does make sense in terms of the process. If we've not in line with what is said, I think maybe let us give the department an opportunity together with Parliament to give the correct list. Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, I think by next week, Tuesday, we'll be doing clause by clause, and then I think next week, Tuesday. Is that Tuesday? Today is Tuesday. Friday? Let's hear from them. Friday?
No, Chair, Friday is a day before registration weekend.
No,
Chair,
Friday is out, honorable
can
members.
we do it on Tuesday?
Yeah, the voter registration, we are preparing, we're doing dry runs and so forth. So it's out. So Tuesday, can we do it Tuesday? You'll be done when and the state law advisor's office and the department will be done.
Yes, Chair, we will be.
Yes, next week, Tuesday. So we are done with this part. Kashifa?
Yes, Chair.
Please make sure as they are going through the department, dealing with clause by clause, please check with them so that Tuesday we don't delay. Everything must be captured according to what we have agreed upon today with the amendments that we've done today and the additions. And Tuesday, we must just go clause by clause and adopt the final bill, and we are done. We present it to the House. It must be tabled, it must be printed and be tabled. I think by Tuesday next week it shall be printed. Or am I wrong? Suen?
Chairperson, once the committee has finalized it, then it has to go back to the committee has to report, and then that process is up to the NH table as to when it will be before the House.
Okay, so for today, with the work that we're supposed to have done, we're done.
Yes, Chair, we have a clear instruction that the committee has accepted the proposed amendments and given us additions to add in the A list. So we will now pick the A list.
Okay, thank you very much, honorable members. And Suen, thank you for being part of our meeting. And I want to thank honorable the commissioner, the board members who are present in this meeting, starting with the chair, Alexandra, Mr. Ndlela. I think I saw another one. Lebu, thank you very much. I think this is one bill that made you to be present every day in our meetings. Thank you very much. And honorable members, thank you very much for your hard work. starting from the inception of the bill till today. Thank you very much, honorable members. The department, Dr. Benis, thank you. Emmanuel, thank you. Sometimes we were rough, sometimes we were nice. Anyway, there's no hard feelings. Thank you, CEO. Thank you very much. And to all other
no, Chair, no, Chair, no, Chair. No, Chair, you have to acknowledge the DG, Chair.
Hey, yes, alarm. I get to start that's why. The DG, thank you very much, DG. But before, I want us to discuss the issue of Umam Sonti, so that you have the same understanding with what's going on and how do we then advise what needs to happen. Mam Sonti?
My chair.
Yebo, siqale le ndaba bositshela yona ibeke kahle ke manje sizokwazi ukuthi si-attende kahle.
Okay, Chair, ndiyabulela. If yakhumbula, Chair, on Friday, in fact, I did told you before ukuthi kune murderers ezenzekayo apha kwi-community Madibeni what 26. So on Friday I went to
You what say Northwest or Eastern Cape?
Yeah, Eastern Cape is the thing which is happening is in Marikana, not in Eastern Cape.
Oh, Marikana, okay.
Yes, in what 26 Madibeni, Northwest. So on Friday, went there to bury that guy. And then on our way back, it means on Saturday night, they killed 5 different people there. And it's all the youth, including the young woman. She's still in the coma in hospital. Others, they just push them. Others, just a bullet. And then those people who doing this, they are unknown. We don't know them. And then the crime also is very, very, very high. They're taking the cables, everything. They're robbing the shops, Yeah. So my complaint is that the NYDA fanele ingenelele because youth elimalayo. And then kwiqala le police akunanto ebonakalayo eyenziwayo. Azitholakali nezi-perpetrators, uyabona. And uminister kudala ndimcela ukuthi at least ayenze i-satellite apha kule ndawo kwenzeka khona izinto because apha Chairperson sihlala ne-mine workers eziningi in different provinces. They are coming from different provinces, uyabona. So nekliniki ayikho ikhona, but ikliniki yakhona is just open at 9 and close at 4 o'clock. During the weekend, there's no clinic at all. It's closed totally. And it was supposed to be 24-hour service because there are many people in this community. Bayalimala, bayagula, kwenzeka everything. So yika even now. Ukuthi senze njani bangena ezindlini bathatha ama-TV bagqumisa abantu ngespam bathatha amafoni so kunjalo nje kubi kunjalo Chairperson. That's why I was raising this thing in this platform.
Gigi?
Yes, Chair.
Yeah, maybe let's not give this big responsibility to NYDA. NYDA, I don't think the passion.
I agree.
Yeah, it's not their. But
okay.
Maybe let's look at as a department how best can you assist?
Through the NSP IMC, the NSP IMC, we might want to. I'm not sure how do we introduce it to the IMC. Will the portfolio committee write to the minister so that the minister takes it as a formal a request by Parliament to intervene at Marikana and call all the ministers that are responsible.
Okay. Kashifa, Neliswa, and Christel.
Yes, Chair.
What you need to do, you need to call in Mamsonti and then just get the background of the details of what is happening in Marikana, and then write a formal letter on behalf of the Portfolio Committee and send it to the Minister of Women for intervention, because the Minister of Women can also be able to rope in all the role-playing departments to go and attend to the problem that they are having in Marikana. The NYDA here, they are not the relevant one.
Yes.
Chair.
Ma'am?
Chair. Ngithi mina akoba uniyayibona lento engikhuluma ngayo, uyayibona into akhuluma ngayo Honorable Sonti, ikhona everywhere lana, and ikhona ngazi ukuthi lento ifuna ukwenziwa njani. Ingakho ngangithe kusafanele ukuthi le portfolio committee ibize onke lama department, even included izinyanga phakathi, amaphoyisa. Nisangizwa ngithi?
Yebo ma, siyakuzwa.
Ibuyela back la. Mbona honorable Sonti ekhala kangaka mhlambe bingakafiki khona. Lana uyakhumbula ngize ngithi mhlambe uzongizwa Emmanuel. Ngikhala la ngengane ezayinqunyiwe Eastern Cape, Western Cape. Nale engaze ngakhala ngathi sentshawini bathi bazotshela ioffice lana lihambe bayobona lo mndeni abanika ama details. Lento le ifuna thina njenge portfolio committee sibize lama department wonke ka government phakathi kube namaphoyisa, ngoba lento yimbi and ifuna nenyanga lento phakathi. Ziyabona abona njengoba bebulawa nje besho nje everywhere kwenziwa njalo. Last week la eThekwini la eMaranhill nakhona kubulawe 5 oyingane and kuthathwa amaphathi omzimba, uyabo. Yilento ukuthi
Mkhawula.
Yeah.
Endaweni yakuphi?
La eMaranhill. Sekubuya ngazo kwesibili manje. Lento ifuna ukuthi thina le big department yethu sibize lezi zinyanga, sibize nalama department wonke akhona kuzoxoxa. Ke kuyekwe lento kuvuma umuntu kusasa, lona useyinyanga, lona usewumfundisi, usenesonto, yabo. Ngoba ezinye zezinto lezi, yabo, bathwala ngalezi ngane bese bethathe baqasha nabafana bazohamba babulale laba bantu. Ngiyabonga. Bese ungibuzela ku-Emmanuel lapho umhlonishwa wami omncane ukuthi why ayindla ngangithe uzoya khona, wayimpromise khona uzoya lena entshawini kulomndeni onengane yawo still namanje ungakayiboni. Bese ngikhumbuza ukuthi siyakhumbuza sigcina sithe siya ekhaya elitsha, kodwa ke nezulu lasibamba last week. Uyabo. Lona ledimona lifikile nje sibhekene nalo, lifuna ukuthi ama department ethu ahlangane.
Okay.
Yabo.
To DG, we'll write a letter that will constitute the two places, ne? Maranhill, Mamkhawula le akhuluma ngayo nale uMamsonto akhuluma ngayo. So our staff members then talk to both Mamkhawula no Mamsonto, and then we'll send that letter to Minister. And then we'll get feedback from your department.
Yeah. The letter must also include the fact that all the ministers relevant, they will be called to come and account to Parliament. I agree with what Kabula was saying. Yes. Thanks.
Yeah. Angithi bengafuni ukuthi siba ambush. Bengifuna ukuthi sibhale these are the challenges that we are faced with in these areas, and then can they intervene, and we'll call them later in the portfolio committee so that they can update us on their interventions.
Yes, Chair.
Yeah. No, thank you very much, honorable members. I think
Chairperson, I've been raising a hand.
Sorry?
On the same matter. I've raised my hand on the same matter.
Oh, okay. Ukero.
Yes. Chair,
Okay.
I've got a different approach. We are all members of parliament and there are different portfolios. Chair, I think there's nothing wrong for us to have a joint meeting as a portfolio with a portfolio of police that where Honorable Marekwa serves in, because these issues, they directly concern SAPS, and two, also on the issue of health. We can have a bilateral with the two portfolios, and also maybe we add with monitoring and evaluation because it's championing the district development model. So before you could go direct to executive, we also have an obligation to call each other as portfolios to discuss the matter, so that it must not be a resolution or something that is done by only us knowing that we cut across. But for a good relation, Chair, we need to start by calling the 3 or 2 portfolios that are concerned, and we discuss with them, and it becomes solid. It will have weight when it comes from both or triple portfolios. Therefore, when we call them, each portfolio will come with their executives. So, Chair, I wanted us to take that approach as early as be it next week. If it's possible, you write to them. We have a joint with the other portfolios. Therefore, we see how do we deal with it. With the fact that I serve in monitoring and evaluation, we could also monitor it on the side of monitoring and evaluation, because yes, Mam Kaula says it cuts across all the provinces, municipalities, and wherever in the country. I think it needs a joint before you could give a heavy burden just to the ministry of our portfolio only. But if we have a joint and it becomes a solid program of action that is coming and a cry from us as members of parliament. So, Chair, I wanted to submit that. Thanks.
Honorable Sheriff.
Thank you very much, Chair. Yes, I agree with Honorable Piri. I think that maybe this is something that we need to expand on. But in the meantime, I think that to take it through the minister as well as call on the legislative, that way you're tackling it on both sides. You're tackling it from the legislative perspective and also the executive perspective. So I think it's a good idea if we maybe pursue both avenues to try and get assistance there in Marikana. But Chair, a little bit off topic, and I'm sorry to do this, but I just wanted to say thank you to the NYDA and to Wasim for, I had invited the NYDA to Soweto and they had come. There was quite a good turnout and a lot of young people interested and got quite a lot of information. So thank you. Just wanted to say thank you, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Sheriff. In fact, remember, we agreed in the portfolio committee that the NYDA may go to constituencies, especially Soweto, because none of us have a constituency there. We agreed that at least you have a constituency there. NYDA can go to Soweto and assist the young people of Soweto. And thank you very much to the NYDA CEO. Thank you for going to Soweto because that was raised in the portfolio committee. Honorable members, with regards to the issues that we're talking about now, remember, we are going towards 16 days of activism. So with us writing to our minister and the relevant ministers to look at these issues, it's something that needs immediate intervention. Calling in other portfolio committees can come later after we have given them, we have registered a complaint that is coming from our members that in these areas, you see, Honorable Carol, Mam Kaula generalized, it's happening across, but we can't write something which is happening across. There are specific areas, as Kumang Azomanj, Marian Hill and Marikana, which, you know, if Marikana, this thing continues, it's over the problem in Cook. KZN, you know, there's a challenge, there's a problem of people being killed, but now it's specific. Marian Hill, Mam Kaola Ote, specifically Marian Hill, like what we did when there was a report saying there are girls who are being killed in Mtwalume. What we did as the portfolio committee, we went to Mtwalume. If you remember, we went to Mtwalume to try to get for fact finding what's happening in Mtwalume. And that case was given to the police. And after our visit, there was no longer abafazi ababulawayo. Makukhona abafazi ababulawayo manje because we were having that program together with the pastors and so on, and the communities there, and the local municipality was part of us. So it was a very big a program. But now, because of time constraints, we want our ministers to make interventions and thereafter report back to us as the portfolio committee. We'll have a joint portfolio committee meeting where each and every department will have to respond on issues that are being raised by honorable members. But in general, is a school. It's better when it was specific with who area is so, the area is so, this is what is happening. So I think that is my approach regarding this matter. And then we'll call in other departments like we did, about social development, police, justice, and other law. I forgot which country they came to the portfolio committee, but with this one specifically, let's write a letter to the honorable minister, who also was with the appointment. There are these issues there. There's a need for intervention. As the Masnas Sazisho in the portfolio committee, if honorable members do have cases Anjalo where people are dying in big numbers, we'll have them to report with immediate effect, so that the letter that our officials are going to write through the office of the chair will include them. Thank you very much. Honorable members, I think let's close it in that note, so that by tomorrow the department receives that letter, and OTG will know, will brief Minister and the DM on what was raised in the portfolio committee and what we agreed upon, which will call them for to come and explain to the committee in terms of the NSP, all the role-playing departments. What do we do in cases like these ones? We are going to launch Citizen Days of Activism, I think on the 20-something November, if I'm not mistaken.
25.
25, okay. Okay, May 25 is November. So if we register these things now, the sooner the better. Mam Kawula illegal si hand yakole.
Hayi, Isiphaphele yile sandla. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, honorable members. NYDA, we're done with you. Mr. Kanaka, we are done. Dr. Penis, we're done. Gigi, we're done with you. Let's get our minutes, Neliswa.
Thank you.
You can go out, those who are not members of the portfolio committee, so that we continue with our work. Minutes of the 31st October 2023. Ned.
Chair.
Neliswa.
Yes, Chair.
Awuyifundisa ukufaka ama-initials wama-members, right? Can I get how many sets of minutes are we going to adopt?
3, Chair.
Okay, can I get any omission, any correction?
It's TS Masondo.
Mamhlanga uthi u-MD if I'm not name Mamhlanga, yeah, MD. Okay. Royal Panske. Oh yeah, but keep chatting. Okay. All right. Can you get a mover for the adoption of these minutes if there's no correction or omission?
Thank you, Chair. It's Masiko.
Thank you very much, Honorable Masiko.
Chairperson, thank you. I move for the adoption of the minutes as a true reflection of the meeting. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Okay, thank you very much, Honorable Masiko.
Thank you, Chair. I second.
Thank you very much, Honorable Kawula. Thank you. The minutes of the 31st October 2023 has been duly adopted. Let's get the next set of minutes.
It's minutes of the 3rd November, Chair. I'll share them now.
The Friday meeting, eh?
Yes, Chair. I will also correct the initials of the members, Chair.
Okay. Oh, your pants. Sheriff Sero NK.
Yes, Chair.
MK.
So you need to correct the other minutes and write NK. Because we will UN yet.
Yes, Chair.
So let's look at how you have captured the officials from the department and the board members of the NYDA. Go down. Okay. Apology kakarabo beyikhona mos.
Yes, Chair. It's in,
Is this minutes where Karabo was writing exams? Is this one or is the other one?
She was writing exam, Chair.
But lana ubhala ukuthi phezulu.
No. She was here.
Utarele la ukuthi beyakhona emeetingini.
No.
And bekabhali here uyabona. With this one was with this one she was present. She was writing exam
No, she was present, Chair. On Friday.
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Let's get the mover and the seconder of the minutes of the 3rd of November 2023. If there are no corrections with the amendments, Zama initials of members.
Chairperson, I propose the adoption of this minute as a true reflection of what we have transpired. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma. Awubuyele phezulu, Nelly. Yeah. Thank you very much. Honorable Flengwa has moved for the adoption of these minutes. Zange 3rd October 2023, 20 November 2023. Let's get a seconder.
I'm Santi.
Okay. Thank you very much, Honorable Mamsonti, for the secondment.
And second, yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank
The
you,
minutes
Chair.
of that November 2023 have been duly seconded, duly adopted. Let's get the next set of minutes.
Minutes of the 7th November, Chair. Last week.
Again, the secretary will write the correct initials of honorable members. Go down, ufuna ukubona ukuthi wakhepcharile ama-officials zonke. Did you be up on a Friday?
Join a late, Chair. Join a late, Chair.
Join a late.
Yebo, Chair.
Oh.
7.
Melilungise lapha othi apologies were received and then a Chinese conference and then lawo kubhala khona ukuthi an apology. Yeah. Spacing sakho lapho must be corrected. Aye. Also solo, and for me, in the fun. Yeah, I'm not in English, not my mother tongue, but how I read it, it doesn't sound okay for me. I think it reads better. Nasli?
Yes, Chair.
I was saying to Nelisa, she must correct that you saw where she was correcting.
Yes.
So,
What was Mr. Ndlela's reason for not attending the meeting?
she was having an operation that day.
Oh, so Mrs. Ndlela NYD, a board member, due to sick health? Simple, quick and easy.
Yeah. I think yeah. I think you're right, Mash. Go down. We are saying PF minutes. What are you saying?
What, Chair? We adopted 2 sets of minutes on that day, Chair, on the 20th and the 24th.
Yeah, it's off. Finally, go off loud by the PF minutes. Miss Masigo moved for the adoption of minutes, not PF. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we've corrected. Let me get a mover for the adoption of these minutes of the, what date was it? The 9th, the 8th?
7th.
The 7th of
7th.
October 23?
November.
November? 7th November 2023? Mam Sondi, you are part of the meeting?
Chair,
Can I get a mover for these minutes?
which date, Chair?
7th October, you were part of the meeting?
Yes, Chair.
Yes, can I get a mover?
Yes, I move.
Okay, thank you
Yes,
very
Chair.
much. Sondi.
Oh.
Can I get Can I get a second, Honorable Oberman? Honorable Boni?
Chair, I do support. Yes, support.
Oh, okay.
Yes, second.
Okay, thank you very much, honorable members. The minutes of the 7th of October have been duly adopted. Yeah, phezulu Nelly, konke ngifuna uyibona ukuthi mamkhawula konje bekakhona mara mamkhawula ngalolu langa. Yes, phezulu. Yeah, bekakhona ngiyakhumbula. Thank you very much, honorable members. We have come to the end of our meeting. We'll meet on Tuesday because Friday we can't have that meeting because Friday we'll be doing our preparations for a voter registration weekend. So by next week we'll be doing clause by clause, and then Kashifa, Christel, Tasnim, make sure that you go through that document before it's 80 seat. So after printing, whether there are no omissions and corrections, because that thing will help us to finish our meeting early, so that it can be then 80 seats, and the programming committee will be able to put the NYDA bill as a priority to be considered before we rise. But thank you very much, honorable members. So next week, we'll be pushing for the last. At least we know that we have done a lot of work, and at least by this end of term, we would have dealt with 2 bills who will be adopted by the NA. Next term, I'm sure they will start with the disability bill and the gender responsive budgeting bill. But at least to have pushed the 2 bills as the portfolio committee. I'm very proud of you. Thank you very much, honorable members. I think we have come to the end of our meeting.
Thank you, Chair. Siyabonga, Chair, the leadership that you have given us in the 2 processes. I don't think it would have been possible had it not been for the leadership that you have provided for the portfolio committee. Thank you as well, Chairperson. Siyabonga.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Absolutely, Chair. From our side, it's been incredible working with you, Chairperson. Thank you for your leadership, your fairness. It's always a pleasure coming and working with this team. So just to echo Honorable Masiko, Chair, thank you very much, and have a good week and good luck to everybody this weekend.
Good luck to
Thanks,
everyone.
Liz.
Okay, play safe, eh?
Nibe right, bye-bye. Thank you very much.
Continue with party line when I Sheriff. Party line.
Ay, Sheriff, we ask more manje.
It's all the same. We all have the same struggles.
Bye, guys.
You are failing us now.
Bye.
Bye.
Makata, bye-bye.
Record.